Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. The chapter of the cave, sort of the end times chapter. The whole thing is a means of protection for one's soul in the end times. Also, the first 10 verses or the last 10 verses. In the name of the merciful and compassionate Allah, praise belongs to Allah, who sent down to his servant the book and put no crookedness therein, straight to give warning of keen violence from him, and to give the glad tidings to the believers, and do what is right, that for them is a goodly reward, wherein they shall abide forever and for aye, and to give warning to those who say, Allah hath taken to himself a son, and they have no knowledge thereof. They have no knowledge thereof, nor their fathers. A serious word it is that comes forth from their mouths. Verily they only speak a lie. Haply thou wilt grieve thyself to death for sorrow after them, if they believe not in this new revelation. Verily we have made what is on the earth an ornament thereof, to try them, which of them is the best in works. But verily we are going to make what is thereon bare soil. Hast thou reckoned that the fellows of the cave and Erakim, the inscription, were a wonder among our signs? When the youths resorted to the cave and said, O our Lord, bring us mercy from thee, and dispose for us our affair aright. And Arakim could be a metal plate inscribed. E.H. Palmer doesn't quite know what it is, but O our Lord, bring us mercy from thee, and dispose for us our affair aright. And we struck their ears in the cave for a number of years, then we raised them up again, that we might know which of the two crews could best calculate the time of their tarrying. We will narrate to thee their story in truth. Verily they were youths who believed in their Lord, and we added to their guidance, and we braced up their hearts when they stood up and said, O our Lord is the Lord of the heavens and the earth. We will not call upon any god besides him, because there are no other gods. For then we should have said an extravagant thing. These people of ours have taken to other gods besides him, though they do not bring any manifest authority for them. And who is more unjust than he who forges against the law a lie? So when ye have gone apart from them, and what they serve other than Allah, then resort to the cave. Our Lord will unfold his mercy to you, and will dispose for you your affair advantageously. And thou mightest have seen the sun when it rose decline from their cave towards the right hand, and when it set leave them on the left hand, when they were in the spacious part thereof. And that is one of the signs of Allah, whom Allah guides. He is guided indeed, and whom he leads astray. And thou shalt surely find for him no patron to guide aright. And thou mightest have reckoned them waking, though they were sleeping, and as we turned them towards the right and towards the left, had their dog, and their dog spreading out its forepaws on the threshold. Hadst thou come suddenly upon them, thou wouldst have turned and fled from them, and wouldst surely have been filled by them with dread. Thus did we raise them up, that they might question each other. Spake a speaker amongst them, How long have ye tarried? And they said, We have tarried a day, or part of a day. And they said, Your Lord knows best your tarrying. So send one of you with this coin of yours to the city, and let him look which of them has purest food, and let him bring you provision thereof, and let him be subtle, and not let any one perceive you. Merely should they perceive you, would stone you, or would force you back again unto their faith, and ye would never prosper then. Thus did we make the people acquainted with their story, that they might know that Allah's promise is true, and that the hour, there was no doubt concerning it, when they disputed amongst themselves concerning their affair, and said, Build a building over them, and their Lord knows best about them. And those who prevailed in their affair said, We will surely make a mosque over them. They will say, 3, and the 4th of them was their dog, and they will say, 5, and the 6th of them was their dog, guessing at the unseen, and they will say, 7, and the 8th of them was their dog. Say, My Lord knows best the number of them. None knows them but a few. And of course, whether it was 7 sleepers or 7 was a symbolic number, it's not as important as the other details of the story, but that's what people... Was it 3 or was it 4? Was it... They're missing out on the message. But the timing is interesting, because it kind of... Okay, they fled the Christians and the Romans, and... Well, some Christians were definitely down in caves, but this is not the miraculous event. The Lord knows best the number of them. None knows them but a few. Dispute not therefrom concerning them, save with the plain disputation, and ask not any one of them concerning them, and never say of anything, Verily I am going to do that tomorrow, except if Allah please. And remember thy Lord when thou hast forgotten, and say, It may be that my Lord will guide me to what is nearer to the right than this. And they tarried in the cave 300 years and 9 more. Say, Allah knows best their tarrying. His are the unseen things of the heavens and the earth. He can see and hear. They have no patron besides him, nor does he let anyone share in his judgment. So recite what thou art inspired with of the book of thy Lord. There is no changing his words, nor shalt thou ever find a refuge besides him. And keep thyself patient with those who call upon their Lord, morning and evening, desiring his face. Nor let thine eyes be turned from them, desiring the adornment of the life of this world, and obey not him whose heart we have made heedless of remembrance of us, and who follows his lust, for his affair is ever in advance. He runs and jumps to conclusions without knowing before the truth arrives. That's the case with a lot of disbelievers, and particularly soothsayers. But the changing of the book, God has a pure copy of everything. It's no longer the book of Abraham. If it's edited, it's no longer the book of Moses or Jesus or any of the other prophets. But say the truth is from your Lord, so let him who will believe and let him who will disbelieve. Verily we have prepared for the evildoers a fire, sheets of which shall encompass them, and if they cry for help, they shall be helped with water like molten brass, which shall roast their faces, and they'll drink in an evil couch, a bad couch. But here is one of those verses making clear the freedom of religion. Whoever wants, believe or disbelieve whatever you want, as opposed to some teachings. And this is sort of our end times, Book of Revelation sort of type of chapter, except, of course, this was revealed instead of compiled as an apocalypse, because none of the apocalyptic literature, probably none of it was ever inspired to a prophet, or it may have been edited from material. I think that may have gone on, that there were compilations and theological works based on stuff before. Verily, those who believe and act aright, verily we will not waste the hire of him who does good works. These for them are gardens of Eden, beneath them the rivers flow. They shall be adorned therein with bracelets of gold, and shall wear green robes of silk, and of brocade, reclining therein on thrones. Pleasant is the reward, and goodly the couch. Strike out for them a parable to men, one of whom we made 2 gardens of grapes, and surrounded them with palms, and put corn between the 2. Each of the 2 gardens brought forth its food, and did not fail in naught. And we caused a river to gush forth amidst them, and he had fruit, and said unto his fellow, who was his next door neighbor, I am more worthy than thee, and mightier of household. And he went into his garden, having wronged himself, said he, I do not think that this will ever disappear, and I do not think that the hour is imminent. And if even I be sent back unto my Lord, I shall find a better one than it. In exchange said unto him his fellow, who was his next door neighbor, Thou hast disbelieved in him who created thee from earth, and then from a clot, then fashioned thee a man. But Allah, he is my Lord, nor will I associate anyone with my Lord. Why couldst thou not have said, when thou didst go into thy garden, what Allah pleases? There is no power save in Allah to look at. I am less than thee in wealth and children, but haply my Lord will give me something better than thy garden, and will send upon it thunderclaps from the sky, and it shall be on the morrow bare slippery soil, or on the morrow its water may be deeply sunk, so that thou canst not get thereat, and his fruits were encompassed, and on the morrow he turned down the palms of his hands for what he had spent thereon, for it was fallen down upon its trellises. And he said, would that I had never associated anyone with my Lord, and he had not any party to help him besides Allah, nor was he helped. In such a case the patronage is Allah's, the true. He is best at rewarding, and best at bringing to an issue. Strike out for them to a parable of the life of this world, like water which we send down from the sky, and the vegetation of the earth is mingled therewith, and on the morrow it is dried up, and the winds scatter it. For Allah is powerful over all. Wealth and children are an adornment of the life of this world, but enduring good works are better with thy Lord as a recompense, and better as a hope. And the day when we will move the mountains, and thou shalt see the earth shaking forth, and we will gather them, and will not leave one of them behind. Then shall they be presented to thy Lord in ranks. Now have ye come to us as we created you at first? Nay, but ye thought that we would never make our promise good. And the book shall be placed, and thou shalt see the sinners in fear of what is in it, and they will say, Alas for us, what ails this book? It leaves neither small nor great things alone without numbering them, and they shall find present what they have done, and thy Lord will not wrong anyone. And when we said to the angels, Adore Adam, they adored him, save only Iblis, who was of the jinn, who revolted from the bidding of his Lord. What will ye then take him and his seed as patrons rather than me, when they are foes of yours? But bad for the wrongdoers is the exchange. I did not make them witnesses of the creation of the heavens and the earth, nor the creation of themselves, nor did I take those who lead astray from my supporters. On the day when he shall say, Call ye my partners, whom ye pretend, and they shall call on them, but they shall not answer them, and we will set the veil of perdition between them, and the sinners shall see the fire, and shall think that they are going to fall therein, and shall find no escape therefrom. We have turned about in this Qoran for men every parable, but man is ever at most things a cavalier, not prevented men from believing when the guidance came to them, or from asking pardon of their Lord, except the coming on them of the course of those of yore, or the coming of the torment before their eyes. We sent not prophets, save as heralds of glad tidings and as warners, but those who misbelieve wrangle with vain speech to make void the truth therewith, and they take my signs and the warnings given them as a jest. Who is more unjust than he, being reminded of the signs of his Lord, turns away therefrom, and forgets what his hands have done before? Verily we will place veils upon their hearts, lest they should understand, and dullness in their ears, and if thou shouldest call them to the guidance, they will not be guided then forever. But thy Lord is forgiving and endowed with mercy. Were he to punish them for what they have earned, he would have hastened for them the torment. Nay, rather they have their appointed time, and shall never find a refuge besides him. These cities we destroyed them when they were unjust, and for their destruction we set an appointed time. And the second question, who were the people of the cave, or something like that? What's about Moses' companion? And what about the person of two horns? Or I don't remember exactly how it was phrased, but something like that. And not only was this answered on the spot, not, I'll come back later, and, to indicate that, hey, he was able to say the revelation right away when it was necessary. But it's not just, okay, here's the answer to this, this, and this. No, he wasn't a Cassandra. He was a prophet. So there was a message other than just, I'll answer your questions. And when Moses said to his servant, I will not cease until I reach the confluence of the two seas, or else I will go on for years. But when they reached the confluence of the two, the two bodies of water, they forgot their fish, and it took its way into the sea with a free course.